So we'll start off with Joel. You're a happy Arsenal fan. London is red.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite smug, but when City's breathing down your necks every single week, then it's kind of hard to really enjoy any sort of win, really. But I think yesterday really showed how far we've come since last season and the season before that as well. But yeah, there's still plenty to talk about in regards to how we actually performed, because I wasn't that happy with it. But yeah, I mean, as long as we win, as long as we get 3 points, that's all that matters, really.
You were happy with the first half, I'm assuming, not so much with the second.
I wasn't happy with over the whole 90 minutes because we didn't control hardly any of the game. To be fair, Spurs had a lot of possession. I think the one thing that saved us is that we're so organised out of possession. We're so narrow. If you watch the game, then we forced Spurs out so much along the sides. But in terms of, we were so sloppy. Trossard in particular losing the ball in the first third so many times. Just looked shaky. Partey just thought he had all the time in the world. But obviously the difference is that we was good in both boxes, and that's obviously what wins your game. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy obviously, but there's things definitely to work on, 100%.
I mean, I've got to talk about the goalkeeper there. What was he thinking?
It's arrogant. I think it's arrogance because Son missed a chance and he's laughing and smiling, and I'm thinking the job's not done. It's a derby, you're away from home, and then he sort of leant back and played a silly pass. I mean, loads of keepers do it, trying to play through the two attackers. That's fine, but there was no zip on the pass. Anything. It was poor. It's poor. It just changed the whole tone for the game, and it's really disappointing. But he played well after that. To be fair, come to collect a lot of crosses. Just looked a bit more calm afterwards. So yeah, it's could have done better, but he stabilised. That's the main thing.
Yeah, obviously, I know you've got a few games to play, and you just need City to draw. If you win the rest of yours, the goal difference, I think you're about 7 goals ahead, something like that.
Yeah,
so you've still got...
They'll catch us on goal difference. I really think they will. Yeah, it's only what, 7? Is it 7 or is it 9 now? I mean, it'll be tight. It will be tight.
It's one of the most exciting run-ins, I must say, as a Premier League we've had in a while. Now Liverpool have completely dropped off a cliff, but we'll talk about them in a bit. So yeah, West Ham done you a favour there.
Yeah, cheers. that was down to them though as well. I don't know what's going on in the Liverpool camp at the moment. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be mental. Now looking at Tottenham's running, obviously I know they've still got City to play, and I'm going to mention them only because they've got Chelsea away, Liverpool away, Burnley at home until they've got City. So by that point, they could just be completely out of the race altogether anyway. If it comes down to they're out of Europe, got nothing to play for, they're playing City, are they going to give it 100%?
I'd hope so. If you're professional, then surely you would. But I've seen some of the stuff on social media about Spurs fans saying they wouldn't mind if Spurs lost or they want them to lose against City. It just shows the mentality of the club at the end of the day. Because why in the hell would you want your club to lose, especially on the last day? Are they at home as well, or are they away?
Spurs are at home to City.
Yeah, and the final day of the season at home, and you don't care about winning or losing.
Yeah, they've got one more game. I think they've got Man City. No, there's one more game after that. I think it's West Ham, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got Wolves this Saturday. We've got Fulham away. Tottenham is the game in hand, but at Tottenham, and then the final game is West Ham at home.
We won't do you any favours.
Cheers, Mark.
We'll just roll over anyway.
Tricky, I think Fulham will be a tricky one for them as well. They're decent at home. Might have beat us at home anyway. So yeah, no, it could be interesting. We hope. We pray.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'll say it's going to be really interesting running. And I guess going into if you don't win it this season, is the difference not having that really top quality striker? I know you've got goals from everywhere, Arsenal.
I think it's a combination of things. I think Timber was a massive miss. He's going to feel like a new signing in the new season, but I reckon if we had him, we'd have an even better chance. I was speaking to my friend about this yesterday, looking at some of the positions that Tomiyasu taken up. He's brilliant out of possession, but in possession, some of the places where he picks up the ball, if he could just move, change the direction a little bit better, a bit more attacking minded, then we would have had more control in the game. And I think that's what we've lacked massively. Like teams constantly try and hit us on that side where Zinni is or where Kirior is. I think if we had Timber, I think things would change. I think we'll be a lot better. In terms of the striker, I'm not sure because Havertz does so much for us. In and out of possession, the yards he covers, the physicality, the flick-ons. Now he's starting to get a bit of a goal-scoring touch, assist. There's so much that he can do for our game. So, how many strikers has that all-round sort of element to their game? I think there's so many. There's little intricate things that if you look at Arsenal where we could be so much better. Because I don't think we should be getting dominated by that Spurs side, to be honest. But yeah, who knows?
I think Havertz had a bit of an indifferent game yesterday because I think he did fluff his lines on a few occasions. I was sat with an Arsenal fan watching it, to be honest. Lewis, actually, I was sat with Lewis watching that game, and I always rib him anyway about Havertz. But it's always the way. I was taking the piss out of him, and then bang, he pops up with a goal. So always just to shut me up. But he's one of those, isn't he? He's like a Nunes for me. They should score a lot more than they do.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think with Havertz, sometimes he doesn't look aesthetically pleasing on the ball, and the way that he throws himself about. But in terms of the impact on the game, it's huge. I'm glad that a lot of Arsenal fans are starting to see the light with him. I think obviously it's one of them ones. It could have went either way, but I think he's come along really well, and it really shows the mentality for him that he can go through all the scrutiny and he can come through and then at the end of the season be vital. I don't want him dropped at any point. I don't want him not in the team, to be honest. He's been really good now.
Yeah. What does that say then for Jesus? Has he got a place?
He's a winger. He's not a striker.
But
he's not. I think
he's not playing, is he?
No, and fair play to Trossard as well. He's coming in and he's earned his spot and he's kept it, and that's what you want. That's the difference between us and a lot of teams in City. City have got players that they can bring in and they all compete. The rotations are good, so a lot of the players are fresh when they're coming to the side. That's something that we want, and if that means that players like Jesus have to stay on the bench for a little bit, then as a fan, then that's fine by me.
Just whether it's fine by Jesus.
Yeah, that's it. It's unfortunate, man. But it's part of the game. It's football. It happens.
It's a tough one. John, from your point of view, obviously he moved from City. Did he make that move because he wanted regular first-team football?
Probably. I also think it was the club as well. I think Jesus has got a lot of skill. He's got a lot of talent there. But is he the complete centre-forward package? No. I agree with Joel. He is more of an outside player cutting in. So I think it was probably he wanted game time, but I think he just didn't fit into the system that ultimately won Pep the treble. I think it was a bit of ruthlessness coming off back of those couple of seasons as well. It was, get rid, rebuild, and win a treble.
Fair enough.
Fair play.
And talking about this man, obviously come off. You can rest him. He comes off the bench and still scores. Is it just unstoppable now? Is City just that type of machine that won't be caught?
I think it will ultimately come down to the Spurs game. That's been our bogey round. They've been our bogey team. Where Ange's Spurs is our bogey team, that's remained to be seen. Obviously, we had the draw with them at the Etihad with some dodgy refereeing. We beat them in the FA Cup. So I think it will come down to that. We're facing a Wolves side up until this weekend. They hadn't won a game since the start of March, albeit I know Wolves beat us at Molineux, but again, some dodgy refereeing. I think I wouldn't rule out Fulham because Marco Silva's a shrewd operator, but I think they've dropped off, and then it just comes down to West Ham on the final day of the season, Mark, as well. Your boys are going to be fighting for that final Europe spot or not. So for me, it's Tottenham, but we can't be thinking about what Arsenal are doing. We just have to do what City do and just take it one game at a time. That's all we can do.
Yeah, honestly, I can't see. I don't think West Ham will be in it by that point. Honestly, I just think we'll be out of it now. I think it's all over for us. I want this season to be over so bad. I can't stand. It's been horrible. It's been horrible for us.